someone we're going to watch very, very closely. Yeah, he took a bit of a knock, didn't he? A bad challenge on him, but he looks like he's okay. He had a couple of chances, getting some good positions early, and a couple of opportunities in the wider areas, and Jeremy Doku, Antoine Semenyo causing a few problems. But it's overall, you know, really we were just a little bit old. We've seen flashes from Phil Ford and Nico O'Reilly getting minutes, Shine Shirky towards the end there. So lots to talk about, lots to try and obviously gain momentum, but Lewis Skelly there is causing a bit of a problem in the centre of the field over that challenge. I'm guessing Donnarumma is the one just shoving him away. He's coming back for a bit more. So even though it's over, we talked about whether there's going to be competition, whether there's going to be fire in the belly on these players. Well, we're still seeing it now on the pitch as the City players just go over to applaud and say thank you to the fans for this long journey down. It's a shame they didn't get more out of it. But yeah, we've learnt a lot, a new taste for a new manager. But overall, over the next few weeks, we're going to learn so much more very quickly.
It was a day to get more minutes into the legs of that, there is no doubt. First taste of pre-season for the likes of Ryan Cherki and Erling Haaland, Elliot Anderson, Mark Guéhi, Nico O'Reilly, all getting their first minutes. And Jack Grealish as well, who came on at half-time. Still a week to prepare for the Bournemouth game at the Etihad Stadium. Not a time to be deflated, not a time to be judgmental today. Arsenal under Mikel Arteta for so many years, with almost the same squad that won him the Premier League title. City, of course, under a new manager for just a few weeks, and of the squad who are involved today, only a handful have been involved since pre-season began and the Far East tour. We'll learn a great deal more about City in the next few weeks, but we have to keep in our minds the significance of the Community Shield. It is really a glorified pre-season friendly. In seasons in which City have won it, they've not necessarily gone on and won anything else. In seasons in which Arsenal have won it, they then have failed to win a trophy in the ensuing season. And never let us forget that incredible defeat against Liverpool by 3-1. The last time that this particular event was played away from Wembley, City lost 3-1. Haaland couldn't find the back of the net that day, and the Blues then went on and won the treble. And it is worth bearing that in mind, because you do not win anything other than the Community Shield by winning this particular game in the summer. It is a disappointment. Let us not gloss over the fact that the 3-0 defeat is still a big blow to take, and let us not write off the importance of having silverware to take back to your home stadium. And Arsenal have that and City do not. But it's been a day of minutes in legs, a day of honing preparation, of just getting closer to next Sunday, when we will genuinely begin the Enzo Maresca era with a visit of Bournemouth to the Etihad Stadium. OK, let's go down to pitch side and we can get the reflections now of Steph Houghton, who is alongside Natalie.
So City have lost the Community Shield, but Blues, there is no need to panic whatsoever. We know, I gave you the statistic in the pre-match show. Of course we wanted to win, but how you do in the Community Shield does not define how you do in the season ahead. We are very, very much in pre-season here with a lot of these players, Steph.
Yeah, I think that was probably the main difference between us and Arsenal. I think Arsenal that looked a little bit more, they've had a few more games than us in pre-season. They looked a little bit sharper, and of course we're going to be disappointed with probably the performance and the outcome, but this season's a long season. We've got so much experience, and it was good for the lads to get minutes under the belt. And yeah, and sometimes these defeats, they hurt, but at the same time you're going to learn so much from them.
like you said at half-time, the goals in the first half in particular are not goals that we would concede in the Premier League, but how would you give an overall assessment of the 90 minutes?
I think we did okay in parts. I think in terms of, as a team, you can see that we're still trying to work things out. Obviously, the manager's probably brought in more ideas, new ideas, and sometimes that just takes time, and also minutes in your legs, physically getting up to that level. And I think we've got to try and take positives out of today. Of course, we're not used to getting beat, so it hurts. Even us watching the game, you want the club to do so well because we're so used to that success. But I think overall, perspective, where we are in the season, we've got another week of training before Bournemouth, and sometimes defeats like this, you learn so much more about yourself.
Oh, definitely. I try and teach my 8-year-old son that as well. It's good to lose.
I'm saying
sometimes.
it, but I would never be like that as a player. But I'm saying it from the outside. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. Yeah.
I think one of the big positives today has got to be the return of Jack Grealish. I think for so many of us, we never expected to see him in a City shirt again. He had an injury towards the end of the season. Yeah. He's come back fit. He's been working all summer. We saw him on the squad sheet today. He started running up and down here, warming up, and the crowd went wild. He came on for the whole of the second half. And he looked good. He looked in good shape.
You can tell he's worked hard. It's obviously a long injury, a fracture of your foot, and you've got to have an operation. It takes time. It takes loads and loads of hard work to get back. And I think whenever we give him the ball, he tries to do something. And I think that's the main thing. He can always say that he's confident because of the abilities that he's had. And it's so nice for him to come on, get 45 minutes under his belt. And whatever happens this season, whether it's here or another club, I think he'll always have a place in City fans' hearts.
Oh, we'll always love him as well. And mentally, it just again shows how strong he is that he was able to. I feel like, again, I expect he didn't think that he was coming back to City after spending a year on loan to Everton. And he's knuckled down, and here he is back on the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, I think football, it works like that. I think one day you can be here, one day you can be at another club, and you've got to be ready for whatever the circumstance is. So I think for Jack, he's a professional. He likes to work hard. He knows that he can do something on the pitch, and today he showed what we've probably missed over the last 18 months is someone that loves having the ball at his feet and is willing to take people on. And I think when you're coming on the second half, there's a few changes. Erling's off the pitch. It, of course, changes the dynamic, but I think he looked to do the right thing and he looked to work hard as he always does.
Was there anybody else that stood out for you? Anybody else's performance today that you were happy with?
I think in general, I think Kovacic started to get into the game a lot more. I think Kusanov playing out of position, I think he tried to do the right things. He's always aggressive. He always likes to get involved in 1v1 battles, and Guardiola's always steady. So I think for me, I think we're not going to see the best of these players yet, and I think that's what we've got to keep an eye on. We've got very good players at the football club. We've got players that can win us games, and today wasn't our day. But look, I think another week of training, another week of sharpness, I think we'll start to see what this team could be like under Maresca.
Of course, when we brought Mark Gay on, we saw that Josko pulled and Nico Riley came off. Josko went out to the left again, which just adds more questions to me. What's the best defence?
It's crazy to say that we've got so many talented players and we still don't know what that back four is going to be. And I think the amount of games that we have, it's always going to chop and change because everybody can't play the game. But I think for me, Mark Gay as a centre-half, I think he just steadies the team a little bit, but also Guardiola, we've seen him so many times at left back playing absolutely unreal. So we're very lucky that we've got players that are adaptable and also versatile, and that'll do us well for the season ahead.
And obviously, you never forget how many important goals Josko Vardio scored from that left back position when we've seen him bombing on. We can see, by the way, I can see over Steph's shoulder that the City players are going up to collect their runners-up medals. Elliot Anderson taking a medal there on his debut. What did you make of his full debut?
I felt he got into the game a little bit more. Of course, when you make your debut for a club like this, it's nerve-wracking, and also you're playing with different teammates and a different way of playing. So, of course, it's going to take a while to get used to. But I think he showed glimpses of what he could bring to this team. I think, of course, without the ball, he's aggressive. He's fit enough to get all over the pitch. But I think with the ball, then wide crosses for Erling Haaland can be something that we look forward to in the near future.
What does the next 7 days look like then? Because in 7 days today we will have our first Premier League game, and as you say, a lot of the players we know, we keep saying it, they only came back in on Wednesday. How do you think the next 7 days looks for the team?
I think get back to Manchester first and foremost, recovery day more than likely tomorrow, and then a normal week. I think it's important to get them really good training sessions in your legs, get people on the same page, get the team together with the new signings, potential new signings this week as well. So I think it's just about building on what we've already built in pre-season for those that started the pre-season and those that have come in. And we've been so good at this over the amount of years that we've done this. I think this is probably a long pre-season compared to normal. So for us, it's just about training, getting the attitude right, getting the environment good, and looking forward to Bournemouth because that's going to be a really tough game.
Oh, definitely. Do you know what, Steph? I'm trying to pull positives from this, and I do genuinely think there's a lot of positives to come from this. Right now, behind you, if you can see, the City players are standing on the pitch and watching the Arsenal team go up and collect their winners' medals and collect the Community Shield. You can see, I mean, the pain. I mean, Cherky's there on his knees, like, I feel like this can fuel them. Maybe that's the reason that people don't often go on to win after the Community Shield. Use this moment now to fuel you for the rest of the season.
I don't think we need more of it, to be honest, Natalie. I think last year, not winning the league, I think we've set so many amazing standards over the last however many years under Pep, and this is a new era for us. But I think that those players that were there last season and me coming so close to winning the league, and we know on our day we can beat anybody. So I think for me, it is important that you respect the opposition because Arsenal were good today. They're a very good team, and at the same time we watch them celebrate, and we get back to Manchester and we go, right, okay, we got to get our heads down and do what we do best.
What particular areas do you think we need to get our heads down on in the next week?
I think it's about the collective, if I'm being honest. I think individually, getting ourselves to the best shape that we possibly can, but as a collective, buying into what the manager's asking for defensively, whether that's a high press, whether that's defending with a 3, whether it's blocking up central areas in attack and just getting that rhythm and really getting into our stride. Because I think I said it to Nedham before, even though we got beat 3-0 today, David Raya was probably player of the match, and that says something. When we're creating that many chances, he was fantastic, and if we can get into them areas in the Premier League, we'll score more than we won't.
Definitely. So if you're wondering where FG and Michael Brown are, we sent FG off to see if he can chat to one of the players afterwards, and I can see Michael Brown at the corner. Oh, where's he going? Where are you going? You're not talking to us. He said, yeah, you need the toilet. He said wait. I thought he said he was having a wee. He said wait. Oh, wait, okay. Michael Brown's having a moment. To be fair, we've worked him hard. Okay, you're about to hear an almighty cheer inside the Principality Stadium as well, because Arsenal are about to lift that Community Shield, which is pretty painful to be standing here for, to be honest. There's Michael Brown. So you can see the City players are making their way straight off the pitch. They've well and truly seen enough there. The Arsenal fans can celebrate. Let them celebrate and see who is celebrating in 9 months, 10 months time towards the end of the season. So I don't know, it's not nice. It's not nice to watch your rivals lift the trophies there.
No.
It's not nice. I don't like it.
We've been very fortunate enough to lift a lot of our own, but even though the Community Shield is a chance to win a trophy, so we should be disappointed, but we have to just get ready for the next game.
Do you think Enzo Maresca will have learned a lot today and will learn a lot on how the players bounce back from this?
Yeah, and you know what? I used to hear this as a player. You learn more in a defeat than you will a win. When I look back now, I'm thinking, yes, you do, because you have to react in a certain way. You have to get back on the training ground. You've got to be honest with yourself. And we've got a new manager that he'll want to be perfection. He wants to be perfection, and we've got to go back, get back to them small details, but ultimately we'll learn a lot about ourselves today and a lot about the players.
Loud in here. Don't like it. Michael, come on. Share with, get in the middle. Right, I know we've worked you hard today, bless you. Give us your assessment. What did you make of it?
What's going on? We've had to go and watch them celebrate there.
I know, we just said that. It's horrible, isn't it?
I was waiting. I was just having a little look before I come on, let the noise settle a little bit, let them get carried away, let them do the lift. Yeah, but it is one of those situations. You give goals away early on in the game, that's always going to be something that's going to punish you. We did see some good moments, some good chances. We couldn't score, but there was some nice creativity. Lots of minutes for people. Elliot Anderson was seeing him, break lines, get forward, quite dynamic. Returner, Jack Grealish, lots of plus points. Minutes for Ryan Cherky, a little moment. The wide players, defensive as well. You know, we've seen some good things, but nowhere near yet to the level that we would expect. But it's only a pre-season stroke start to the season game, and we've just got to hold our horses, wait and look next week. Then unfortunately you go, right, we can't afford to have any errors. That's where you're going to get judged from the final whistle.
What do you think they're going to be focusing on in the next week?
I think just understanding who's going to be best to play in the game. What 11? That'll be me as a manager, right? How do I deliver a strategy against your opponent? You're going to look at the opponent and go, right, how do we need to play against them next week? What are the key areas that we're going to do? And then we go, right, how do we fit those personnel? Can we do it that way? Have we got the players, a dynamic fullback or a particular wide player? Or do we need to come inside? Do we need an extra one in midfield? Do we need pace at the back? Those are the little answers, and you come up with your formula and you get on the grass, don't we? It'll be Tuesday, it'll still be a light loading day for some, and then start to develop, start to build towards the weekend. So it's normal practice. The manager will be disappointed because a new manager, the first thing everyone is going to say is, oh, well, it's a trophy. It is a trophy. It's nice to go and see that for the fans and the supporters and the children. But we've been here. We're so fortunate that we've witnessed so many trophies, so many good moments, not to take the highs when it's right there, to be too disappointed on the lows. Build this week and let's get ready for the start of the season.
Steph and I, just before you came on, were talking about how you learn from defeat, how you learn from these instances and what they can learn. I guess, what do you think we can learn from today?
You're always learning. I think, you know, for many seasons at this football club, when we were winning titles, when you're winning trebles, they're still going, right, where do we need to improve? What was next? The manager comes straight away and goes, right, that's not acceptable, we need to be better at that, better at this, because that's the mentality. Do you know, I watched actually at 3-0, I watched Mikel Arteta go charging down. Someone didn't go and press down the right-hand side. It might have been Saka. He was up, he was saying, right, so they're winning 3-0. That's the detail. That's where we are at the top of the Premier League, elite European football club. Right throughout, and it's on and off the pitch, whether it be transfers, whether it be someone else who can come and help us right towards this window. That'll be something. And then the manager goes, right, there's my squad. That's what we've got, and we can build and move forward. It's been a big change. We know there's a change around, and we've got to wait and allow the time in. But I think we're in a good position. I think the squad's healthy enough, and hopefully the next week or so we get a little bit better.
This is, I just want you all to know, extremely painful to be standing here while they're all singing and dancing and celebrating. And I like this song, but now I don't anymore. So, oh well, we'll continue trying to look for the positives from today. Steph, do you think anybody put in a performance today that has made the manager think, oh, okay, next you could be in my 11?
I think Guardiola was really steady. I think Cherky, when he came on, looked impressive. Mamouche, I like the fact he makes runs, he makes defenders think, and I think in general, I think there wasn't really necessarily one specific player that really stood out in their form, and different team altogether, I think, after another full week of training.
So lots of positives to take from today. Don't let the result diminish any positivity and excitement that you have. Today we are at home, 2 p.m. kickoff again. Have a new manager, but of course Bournemouth have been so tricky to play against in the last few years. What do you think though of the...
Well, we were there, weren't we? We started the afternoon on the beach. I remember you coming on one of your away trips. We were on the beach, we went to Bournemouth, and that was the day, wasn't it? The big expectation, is the title still on? And what they've learned over the last few seasons is to sit in, and then don't they jump out fast. I mean, the counter-attacking ability, now there's a manager change, it will be a little bit different, but you would look and go, right, the foundations have been put down, we've been successful with it, the players will be in a trend and a journey. We might catch them at a good time as well, which gives us a little bit more time to adapt, to get used to it towards the end of the month. You're 2 or 3 weeks down, you just hope that you can catch a few of the teams early and then get a decent enough start, the same with Palace as well. So yeah, Bournemouth have got some good players, real attacking force with power, but they might also lose a couple. So I really find it tough to forecast at this time of year too much, and you'll get a surprise result. You get a 3 or a 4. I said today that this game could have gone 3 or 4 either way. I said at the start, but not to judge too much. That's the issue. So a great game. Looking forward to it. It'd be nice for Enzo Maresca to take his seat in the dugout. His first game. He'd be so proud to take this football club into the Premier League.
Yeah, of course. I remember that. It was the last away game of the season last year as well. And of course, that time when we drew with Bournemouth, they secured themselves a place in Europe. So they ended the season with 2 wins and 3 draws, of course, including that draw with City, to get themselves into Europe. Huge achievement for a team like Bournemouth to end up with a place in Europe. But how hard is it, do you think, when you go into Europe for the first time, Steph, to juggle?
Yeah, because I think with teams like Bournemouth, they were so used to playing 1 game a week. So you've got a lot of time to prepare, to plan, and I think with that mixture of having another European game, with the intensity that they play, and not the biggest of squads, it could affect a lot of teams that are in Europe this season. But I think what Brownie said in terms of the foundation that Bournemouth have set already with the old manager, with the new manager coming in, we've always found them really hard to play against. They've got young players that are energetic, they play counter-attacking style football, and they really, really hurt teams. So no matter, I think even though it's the beginning of the season, it's still going to be a really, really tough game for us. And I think for us, it's good to have that type of game, because we now, after this game, definitely need to be like, OK, we need to improve in a lot of different areas.
Let's try and predict what the starting 11 is going to be. And this will be, if we do this all season, this will be the most difficult one, because, of course, we got an indication today. Players are still coming back. We'll all agree that Donnarumma will start in net, yes?
Well, we've got that,
yeah.
There's Donnarumma. We've all got, I mean, I think we can dance around 5 or 6 where you sort of go, right, we know there's a core. But it must be so tough, because to start the season as well, as a manager, that's the biggest blow to the player. Unless you're one of the obvious ones that you know you're behind on minutes and you go, well, I can't really start, I'm not ready yet, it's obvious, I'm not one who can go and take that challenge, I need a few weeks. But it's the biggest blow to a player when you don't start that game. I don't know what you think, and you're like, and it's hard to recover. Like, some will go, right, I'm going to prove them, and some will go in their shell. And then you've got to treat them all different, and like then it's your coaching staff going, hey,
I found it interesting last season, because the first game of the season, Nori started left back. He got injured, O'Reilly came in, and he actually did the opposite, where, like, OK, I'm going to take my chance, and ever since then he's kept his place. But I think for me, even looking at the back 4, I think it's impossible to predict who it's actually going to start. On
the back 4? Yeah,
I think if Nunes was fit, I think Kusnov comes in centre-half. I think he starts.
What, instead of Diaz then? The captain. That's the biggest call, honestly. This is what I'm saying. We're going, right, Mike Gay, you sort of go, right, that can sit. But then he's got the issue with the 2 lefties. Can he do Mike Gay, Josko, Nico?
But it goes probably to the fact that who can play 90 minutes at this time, which Guardiola would be one of them. He's just played 90 minutes a year, yeah.
Diaz, Nico O'Reilly, you would imagine now after them minutes to be able to step in. And cushion off for Nunes. After that warm-up, we don't know how long. We might have got an insight if he'd have been able to on how long and what he would have bring and what his role would have been. And then we go into the middle of the pitch, don't we? We look at Anderson, we've got Foden or Cherky. We look like the wider positions. It looks like that front 3 is probably going to.
I think the front 3 is set,
Okay, let's go from the back then. Donnarumma, I'm going to push you. I'm going to push you both. You can look at each other to decide. Okay, right back.
Well, I think
it'll be Kusanov.
I think Kusanov was edging towards his selection, but when you concede 3, Nunes comes back into the play.
If he's fit.
If he's fit. So that's ultimately where you are. You can see that. Both not natural right backs. We must add that if that might be something that the club might go, do you know what, we're going to have a specialised. We might not. Nunes has done a very, very good job. Kusanov can get across as well and balance and cover off. So the centre-backs is the issue. Diaz has got all the experience, but does he use Kusanov? Gay, Josko, Nico.
Yeah.
Nico could come inside if he feels like he has to get him in the pitch.
And as
you could do Elliot Anderson, Nico and Phil or Cherky. And the front.
Has Gay and Guardiola played together at the back?
Well, that's it, 2 damage and 2 left side.
And he actually probably, I know, but Mark can play.
But as the 3
right
it
side,
works, well, Mark might have to go across to the right.
Yeah.
we might see
That's
that.
why we don't get paid as much as Enzo Maresca. Brownie does.
But to me, right, if their weakness is building up, right, with a right-sided centre-back and not the left-sided centre-back, that could be key in his decision against Bournemouth, where the press comes from.
And also pace, Brownie.
And someone can draft the cross. Pace against Bournemouth, is also key. The role today, we're seeing Kovacic sit as that base player, Elliot Anderson shifting up here, there and everywhere, running down these right channels, rather than we discussed on Matchday Live last week with Nico about having two pivots. In this game, it didn't look like we set like that. We almost emptied it a little bit early. But did that change because the manager will tell you, because the first goal? Once the first goal comes and the second goal, you have to go and chase a little bit. You have to come out and move things around, because all the planning and prep you've had goes out the window for one mistake. So that's...
And so the right back is...
Well, I think it's crucial at this moment in time.
Yeah, I would say at this moment.
And then the centre-backs, if he comes out when Diaz being his captain, that was a question you asked me earlier. That's a big decision when he's going to name his actual captain. Does he name Diaz anyway, even if he doesn't pick him, because he says, I don't need to pick him on this game, I'm going to use something else?
And I think maybe that might be a smart thing.
Might sit out because he might not be ready yet.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I think
he just slots that four, but MATCHDAY is such an experienced player, he's going to go, I am ready.
And you know what? Performances from last season and World Cup, he deserves to play in terms of consistency. But I think the captaincy is quite an interesting one. Being there and done that, not necessarily you're always going to play all the time. So you need someone that's going to be very good in and around the squad and be ready for when they're needed. And maybe that's why Ruben's probably a good pick.
Ryan Cherky is going to say, I need to play. I'm ready. Find me a place. It's a tougher situation because, yes, you need the strength and depth. We looked at Arsenal, didn't we? The bench that they brought on, they had a good, strong, deep bench. We need that. But this is the hardest thing for the manager, balancing and understanding what's next. And it's impossible to go and guess what he's going to do. You can't. I know you're pushing us for 11, but these are the decisions we're giving you.
You've just named every player.
Well, we haven't. We're giving you the outcome of why it might be. He might actually say, do you know what, next week, I might play Anderson, and he's going to just sit as being that dominant six.
I was going to ask you about that, though,
Cherky, and he does Phil Foden.
The balance in midfield.
Right. In this game at home, if it's away at Arsenal, we go, we need another one. But at home, he might go, I'll roll the dice, I'm going to go for it. You sit there, full-backs, so you've got a 3, and you've got Anderson, so you've got that 4 there, who are not going too far.
Yeah.
And then the rest can go. But you can't concede goals at this level early. That throws, no matter what you do. You know, you've done all the prep all week.
Yeah. It goes out the window straight away.
Okay, so are we thinking that the 11 might likely be very similar to what it was today? But we'll see. It'll likely depend on the fitness of some of the players that have been returning this week.
Yeah, I would agree. I think I was going to ask you, Brownie, in terms of like the balance in midfield. Being a midfielder, do you think it's better just to have one holder that's going to just sit there, or is it going to be...
But that depends, right? Like we've always looked, right? You can go, right, there's 2 centre-backs dealing with a striker. You've got 2 holding midfielders in play to get out. If your full-backs are empty in them spaces, both of them. We used to see them going like that.
Yeah.
So then the 2 can always adapt and get across, help either side on the full-backs to double up. If your wide players are going to stay up, then you need the cover with the 2 at times. That's the point. I still think you can play that defensively.
Yeah.
You can go all the way out and say, right, we're going to open and we're going to go back to front quicker, but that could also be a very rigid setup if that's what you want to do, because wide players can just drop down slightly all the while.
I think that was the difference, though, was that Semenyo and Doku played quite high today, whereas if you're playing a 2 then with Phil as a 10, Phil was getting outnumbered because Bruno and Miles Lewis-Skelly was going either side, whereas Elliot Anderson tried to jump, but actually the winger was coming in the pocket then. So I think if we can alter the wide position in terms of Doku and Semenyo, it would help our midfield out a lot, because I didn't feel as though we were exposed, but I think that's just because we've never played together before.
We've got to be not one-dimensional in the wider position. So it's not... I think the days have gone where you go, right, we hook that touchline, the 2 wide players, and that's where we're going. These good full-backs now will go, all right, as long as I can see you, I'm fine. You know yourself, we've got to start coming inside. That's what done us on the first goal, because Califiori, as a fullback, you're thinking he's just going to drop back in.
No.
He actually goes in off the shoulder.
That's what O'Reilly does for us, yeah.
Of all times. So the game adapts, it moves, and we've got to have the continuity. We've got to have runs coming in towards Erling as well. It's all right, you've got 2-10 supporting, and you can do that, but I still think there's a little bit of balance that we're not right there.
No,
you know,
I agree.
It's evident for all to see. That's the next step, and then having a defensive shape and set up that we cannot concede 3 goals, and we could have conceded more.
Can't remember the last time we've conceded 3 goals.
Califiori over, Saka chance where he swept it wide. So they had a couple where you would say very, very good chances, you know, to make it worse.
I think they're trying to break down the celebration stage. Should we take a step forward?
Sorry.
We'll take a step forward for you. We're on live. You're on live TV now. Give them a wave. Give the world a wave there, gents. There you go. Okay, do you know what? Let's give them a second to get the rest of it past, because there's some lovely men there that are kindly waiting to bring the stage back down. But on Thursday past, we had a City Are Back open training session, and it was wonderful to see all the squad back together again. So let's take a look back at that.
Please welcome our new manager, Enzo Maresca!
Too expensive.
It was a really wonderful day. I got to chat to Enzo Maresca, of course, and our new signings as well, Geronimo, and I got to speak to Elliot Anderson as well. It was a really great day. The crowds were so excited. They were going around doing signatures. I thought, oh, Steph, I thought I got heat stroke at the end of it. It was so unbelievably hot. So we had that on Thursday. And then yesterday, we were back at the Joy Stadium because our women's team had a friendly against Barcelona. I was excited for it, Steph, because excited to see our team as well. But of course, when you talk about women's football, you can only respect what Barcelona have achieved.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of pre-season friendlies, I don't think you can get much bigger than Man City, WSL champions against the European champions in Barcelona, who have got so many amazing players. So I think for the girls to get that game under their belt in pre-season is a real test for Andre and his team. I think to go and win the league again this season is going to be really, really tough. So games like this really stretch you as a player and as a team. And I think you couldn't get it stretched any more than going 2-0 down yesterday, but great fight back from the girls. I think you showed a lot of quality, a lot of what we want to do this season, and a lot of players getting minutes as well, which is the most important thing. So a real good test and another chance to improve and physically get better, and look forward to the season that's coming so soon anyway.
So as you know, I left the women's game after half-time because I was getting the train to Cardiff to be here. So it was 2-0 when I left, and it finished 2-2. So I can't really tell you what the second half performance was like. But as Steph says, to come back from 2-0 down against Barcelona. At half-time, though, before I left, I got to chat to Beth Mead, obviously our new signing. What a signing. The pedigree that woman has in the game is phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, to think that Beth's come from a club like Arsenal, one is what she's won there, but also for England winning 2 back-to-back Euro championships and the tournaments that she's had personally. I think for me as a player, it's a great addition to the squad. I think she brings experience, she brings quality, and I think with the team now in Champions League this season, it's going to be important for every player to play their part. So great signing, great girl, and I think our squad, I mean, I went to watch training a few weeks back and the girls look happy, they look fit, they look ready to go, and that's the main thing in this part of the season, is that the new signings settle in as quick as possible, and there's a great group there.
I also spoke to Andre before the game, and he showed me his tattoo that he's got on his arm.
I thought it was fake, you know. I went up to him, I said, is that fake? You know, one of them ones that you stick on? He's like, no, it's real. I was like, OK, fair play.
Oh, it's real?
Yeah,
it's great. Do you know what? He was in great spirits. I thought, I'll be cheeky here and ask him and say, can I have a look at that? And he went, yeah. And he just got it out like that. So he was in really great spirits, which was
he's
lovely.
A good guy, I think. Just being around him, I haven't been around him as much as I could have been last season, but I think just in moments where, of course, when you're winning, it's good, but moments where we've been behind and how he's so calm and what he's like with all the girls, and the girls really respect him. So I think this is going to be a big season for everybody, including him, because when you win something, everybody wants to come after you, and it's even harder to win back-to-back. And but I think in a manager that we've got that understands the club, understands the team and understands the girls, and I think it's going to be a good test, but ultimately I think we're in a great position.
I can see out the corner of my eye that FG is back, which probably means that he has spoken to a player, fingers crossed. And, of course, Enzo Maresca is going into his press conference. So we will give you that shortly, or now? Oh, we'll give you it right now. Lovely. Let's go over to Enzo Maresca's press conference.
I think big part of the game is in the first goal we concede. Unfortunately, after 30 seconds, we concede the first one. I think after the goal we conceded, the reaction was good. Before they scored the second goal, we had 3-4 chances to score and to draw the game. Unfortunately, we missed the chance, and then with the second goal, it became more difficult.
It's nice to lose 3-0. Do you think that the manner of the 3 goals was particularly concerning to you? Do you think some of the defending was made it slightly easy for Arsenal?
In general, I'm always concerned, even when we win games. So imagine now that we didn't win the game, but we just start. This is the beginning. We have many things that we need to do better. But again, I think it was good reaction after the first goal we conceded, and now try to reset, analyze the game, and think from Tuesday about next game.
When you think about the game today, is there one particular thing that you don't like and one thing that maybe can be a good point of result?
For sure, the 2 first goals we conceded, I didn't like. The first one because it's after 25 seconds. And the second one, I think there was no pressure on the ball. Probably, I don't know if it's for physical condition. We had many players, probably the club with more players in the World Cup. I don't know the reason why, but for sure the first 2 goals that we conceded, I don't like. And then, in terms of things that I like, I think after the first goal we conceded, the reaction was very good. At this level, it's so similar. When you concede a goal and you are able to react in the way we react, was good. But again, after the second goal, I think was all complicated.
Hi, sir. With the result today and the transfer window still being open, has this result made you feel that there's a need to bring in any new players before the window shuts?
We knew already before the game the things that we need to do. It's not because we lost the game, or even if we were winning the game, we were thinking different way. We are quite clear what we need to do. and for sure, as I said, we are going to do something before the window transfer close.
The game was very highly contested in midfield today, where it felt maybe you were lacking slightly. Do you feel you missed Rodri's influence at all today?
But I think, again, I said already, Rodri is a player that he just won the World Cup, Ballon d'Or. It's a top player that all the teams, they need a player like Rodri. So it's not about if we miss Rodri or not. I think the ones that they played today, I think Elliot was quite good. It was his first game. Matteo. But yeah, again, I think we can find many things after this kind of defeat. We just need, to analyze in the right way and think about and focus about the next one.
And so just thinking on starting with so many other players who just come back this week.
We decided to start with, I think there were 4, just with 2-3 sessions. And the reason why was also because sometimes player, they prefer to start doing the proper warm-up and start from the beginning. And the plan with all of them, as you saw, was to change them after 45 minutes, 1 hour maximum. So it's a decision that you take before the game, if you start or they go inside from second half.
And then
Yeah, he looks okay after the game, we see now.
And so you're able to give Jack Grealish a run out. That's his first appearance for City in over a year. How did you think of it?
Again, Jack was inside when we were 2-0 down. Was already, the game already became complicated after that. But overall, I think Jack was good. And again, the ones that they are still here, they're gonna work every day, and if they deserve, they're gonna get minutes. Again, at the moment, the window transfer is open, and we see what's happened.
How do you feel it in terms of it seemed like two easy places in the field?
Yeah.
Was that sort of concentration thing?
No, because after that the reaction was good. Before we conceded the second goal, I think we didn't concede any shot. And we had 3-4 chances to score and to draw the game. So I don't think it was lack of concentration. I need to review, I need to analyze, but at the moment I don't think it was lack of concentration. Yeah, for sure something wrong happened. Probably we were not, we were not switched on. Still, still there. But we're gonna see. We're gonna review and we see.
And so how confident would you be of having some players in before this week? There's indications that Buadi from Lille is in discussions with you.
No, he's still a Lille player. But any new signing, any new player, for sure, as soon as they arrive, it's better because we're gonna start the Premier League in 1 week, and if they start to work with us as soon as possible, it's better because they can also understand the way we want to play.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Matteo, thank you for joining us. Not the result we would have hoped for, but for you personally, pre-season, you've played a lot of minutes in the legs. How are you feeling physically?
Yeah, better every day. Obviously today was not our day. I think the decisive moments were on their side. In the boxes they were better, but overall I think we didn't play as bad as it sounds. But yeah, that's football, and on this level the small margins decide.
I want to touch on obviously the minutes that you've had through pre-season, also the players that are now coming into the squad, back into the squad. For example, a man who made his debut, Elliot Anderson, today. Just how much does he need in terms of sharpness to get to the peak level? Like, you guys play so much football throughout the year, it seems like you hardly have had a break, but you're looking like you're physically getting better and better per game. How much do these players need, do you think?
For sure, they need a few games. It's normal. I think emotionally you are drained as well. Whole year you play, and the World Cup and everything. So it takes time, but little by little we will come there. We have now a good week to prepare ourselves, and the Premier League starts. So it's still the beginning, and we need obviously look at the game, analyze it, and be better.
We had the pleasure, of course, of being on the Asia tour recently. You played a lot of football with Phil Foden. It seems like that triangle sort of thing with Elliot now coming in. There was good link-ups between you and you. Just how much do you enjoy playing with a player like Phil? Because there's moments where you were linking up really well today.
Yeah, since I came here, I think I clicked quite well with Phil on the pitch. He's an unbelievable player, and when he's on his best, he's just so decisive, and we hope that he will be like he's normally, just himself and just enjoy himself on the pitch.
And finally, of course, there was a lot of talk about yourself staying here. We're delighted to have you here. Do you see yourself in one of them leadership roles in the future? You seem like you're a leader. You've had an incredible career as well. Just what does the season look for you personally?
Yeah, it's a different role. I'm one of the oldest now, and it's something different for me. But obviously, it's nice to be one of the leaders. I try to be leader on the pitch by example, and we have some great leaders here with Ruben, Erling, and some great players. So we're a group that is quite together, and we need to be obviously better than today.
And finally, of course, Bournemouth, the next game, the start of the Premier League season. Just what does it feel like going into that season, knowing it's a long season ahead? You're now chasing the title against the team that we've just played against today. What does it feel like for you at that point?
Excitement again. You play for one of the best teams in the world, and just the excitement to try to win it again is something incredible. The pressure will of course be there, which is nice in a way, because then you know that you are in a big team. So it's good pressure for us. But like I said, today for us is a bad day. We don't want to get used to losing, and we need to be disappointed and improve from tomorrow already.
Absolutely, well spoken as always, Matteo. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best for the Premier League season. It's going to be a long journey, so hopefully you can add to that impressive silverware performance and stuff you've got already. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Welcome back to the Principality Stadium. That was the interview I just had with Mateo Kovacic a few moments after the full-time whistle. He speaks so well. He's been there, he's done it. People forget about the incredible career Mateo Kovacic has had.
Incredible. And do you know what? He's happy to speak, come out and obviously explain the situation where we weren't good enough, what we needed to improve, what's next. And he was over in the cup final, didn't he? At the end of the season, when we'd won, he was right there, telling us all about it, very cool and calm. And that's what he brings, to this football club. He's got great experience, won everything, very level, very mature. The way he conducts himself as well is first class. So it's always good, and it's always somebody you want to listen to. You take note with everything he delivers for you.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll continue speaking about that full-time result here from the Principality in a moment, but a bit of positive news then for Manchester City, because throughout the CFA they do so much incredible work. Well, the under-18s kicked off against Liverpool yesterday, and they got the 2-1 victory, a goal from Archie Thornton, who scored the second, and the first goal was Teddy Lamb. Now, if you're tuned into Manchester City and Manchester City Academy, Teddy Lamb loves to score goals. We can see the clips of the goals going in. He loves to score goals. He's very animated. There he is. There's a knee slide from him as well. He is enjoying his football, and he's a player definitely to watch as he rises through the ranks. We see so many players go from our under-18s to our EDS and then end up in the first team setup. Teddy Lamb is definitely one for the future, as is Archie Thornton. The Liverpool goal was a penalty, a consolation goal. They were 2-0 down at that point, but a fantastic start to the proceedings in the under-18s Premier League North season by Manchester City, beating Liverpool 2-1.
It's always nice, the rivalry's there. Whatever age, whether it's the under-12s, the academy, right up to EDS, it's always tough games with a little bit of spice, a little bit of something to go. So yeah, great win for them, good start, and the amount of players coming through our academy is absolutely sensational. Just keep delivering, and it's a hard pathway at times, and pre-season brought a lot of them getting minutes, and then we'll see the loan market come into play. I'm sure that hasn't finished. There'll be a few more to go. But yeah, a lot of the clubs are queuing up to take them to try and develop their careers.
Well, I mean, it's absolutely incredible. But as you say, our academy is genuinely fantastic. Alexander Robertson, Cardiff City player, was here today in the crowd. He's a Manchester City academy player, and he was just saying, look, this is the reason I have a career. This football club is the reason I have a career. So, of course, if I can support them, I can. We've got a game against Wrexham tomorrow. A Wrexham side which includes Callum Doyle, another member of the Manchester City Academy.
Do you know what? That's why you've got a career, isn't it? Do you know, you said you come through the ranks, get your career.
I've got a great
Major, don't you
Brown.
forget, you're getting a bit carried away. Yeah, but we know I've helped you along the way. I've never eased you into the situation.
It's an absolute pleasure to be back.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's great, isn't it? We're back.
You, yeah.
I know the result wasn't great, but you know what? We've got to look at the positives, right? A great season ahead, a really competitive one. I'm really looking forward to it. It's a fresh start. I mean, we've got to say, right, Pep was unbelievable. Now it's Enzo Maresca. Now it's the new side. Now it's the new team. And I'm really looking forward. Lots of challenges. We've got the teams coming up. We're going to have to really battle and do well. They're generally looking and saying, are they going to go down that European mid-place and the Champions League and at the top of the Premier League? What we're going to see from Spurs, what we're going to see from Chelsea, Liverpool, a little bit of uncertainty. Our neighbours across the way feel like they're in a better position to go and challenge. Arsenal look solid, not just because of today, because of their development over the last few seasons that they've been there. And we can go on, can't we? I think it's going to be a great season. But also, FGs, we don't know where we are until that transfer window. I know I keep saying it. And then you know exactly what squad you've got and what you're going to come up against. And you always go, right, we've got to do predictions for lots of the media outlets, FG, and you sort of go, right, who's your top four? And you're like, well, how can you pick it yet? Because we don't know what's left. And that's the thing. But the Premier League, greatest league in the world, is back next week. And we get up and running, and it's a great game to start with.
Absolutely, and going on from what Enzo Maresca said, he can't wait to go to the Etihad. You know, first game, Bournemouth at home. From a Manchester City's perspective, to kick off the season at the Etihad, the brand new Pep Guardiola stand is there as well. That'll be full. The atmosphere will be brilliant. And then we go to Crystal Palace on a Friday night, our first away game.
I'm looking forward to that
of the season. Yeah, I'm looking forward to being there as well.
Go on, say it. You know I'm not there, don't you? That's the thing. You know I'm not there. I can't make it. You know, when you book a holiday a year ago, you don't know the fixtures are going to be unkind for the away game. So, listen, I don't miss many, do I?
You don't miss many at all. We're going to miss. I'll tell you what, we're going to miss you whilst you're there. But it's good that you. It's good that you have a little bit of a break before the long season, because there is so many games, and this group of players will be aware that there are 2 games a week potentially at points. The international breaks are slightly longer.
It's longer, isn't it? So we need to get a good start, don't we? Those couple of games. Do we catch Bournemouth on the hop in transition? Crystal Palace as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So closely by a Coventry side, if I'm not wrong. That comes
spot on, absolutely spot on. With it being that international break, which is slightly longer, so for the people who are watching the show and aren't quite up to date, the international break's around 3 weeks now, I think. Brownie,
you'll be going somewhere exotic, are you?
Well, I'll be trying to go with you, mate. Next time we'll plan it. Next time we'll plan it and go somewhere.
I've not got anyone for September yet, so
well, there you go then. Because
I'll be finding some games somewhere to go and cover.
From a preparation perspective, for when Enzo and his coaches are looking at that, and there's potentially, we're so blessed that a lot of our players will be on international duty, but will he use that to sort of perfect his craft with the players that are still here, get them up to speed? The players who go away to international break,
no, I think you can't. Because unfortunately we're at a club where I've got too many internationals. But what you do, it gives you a time to maybe go back and go, right, we're going to reflect on what's just happened, and you can go away and focus and rebuild a plan if needed to make you better in that space where the game's thick and fast doesn't allow you. I think that will be the point, but you can't get any players on the grass.
Yeah, that's very true, actually. Well, listen, I mean, one thing that's for certain this season's looking very, very good. 9 out of the 20 teams have got a new manager, which is absolutely incredible for a start. I'm trying to think of the 9 off the top of my head. We've got Newcastle United, of course. They've got a new manager. De Zerbi's not a new manager anymore. Do you know what the 9 are?
He still is. I still think he's a new manager. Come on.
Yeah,
you've got to be honest with that. He is a new manager. He's again building. There's a new team. They've reacted quickly, Spurs, haven't they, in the transfer market? Might be some more still to follow. But yeah, reactions, bounces, there's going to be dramas, there'll be highs and lows. There'll be a little bit of one of those, right? Are we going to struggle, then we recover, then we win some? But it's the Premier League. There's no room for error.
Being on the road and having the pleasure of travelling with you so much, and one thing I've realised through your mentality, obviously you've had an incredible career, there will be ups and there will be downs this season, and we're going to be following it all along here on Matchday Live. Every single week when Manchester City are playing, there will be a show. But Brownie, like, a word for the people who are watching the show. I mean, because from a fan's perspective, it's so easy to sort of get really, really down about results like today, which, by the way, you're well within your right to be upset about. But there is going to be so many ups and so many downs, and it's about being there towards the business end of the season. Am I right? Because that's what Pep sort of did.
That's
for
where
so
it comes.
long.
Yeah, that's where it comes. I think that is the journey as well. Is like as a fan, as a player. You know, as people involved in football, you have to realise it's not always a smooth ride. I think psychologically with players, you don't get picked. How do you adapt from that? What's next? You just get on another day, get back to doing the basics. And we've been very, very spoilt at this football club for a long period of time. So if you don't win how hard was it to lose the Premier League last season? It was very tough, wasn't it? That we were sat there, but you know, we go on, we build again. We're still in the mix every single season, and we'll be around it again at the end of the season. That's ultimately what it is. And at times the squads need to redevelop and re-gel and energise, and you come back and it keeps rotating, and some people get a march on you and it goes the other way. But it's again, I think, a consistency and a level of performance which I believe this football club have. They have a strategy to stay and just keep focused and keep not sort of reacting when things don't slightly go your way.
What does it look like then for this group of players going into the next week? I spoke to Mateo Kovacic, like I said, and there was a bit of excitement there. He said we've got a week to prepare. What is it like, Brownie, going into that week of the season, especially after a game like this where you think, OK, we're nowhere near sharp enough where we need to be? Does that mean from a coach's perspective or from a player's perspective there's more running next week, there's more action with the ball next week?
I think there'll be some fitness, but I think it's coming... we just discussed it before when you went off to do some of the interviews. It's about finding a formula within your players, who's fit, who's got pace, who's not, against the opponents that you've got to come in. That's the balance of this week. You should have already had enough of the structure regards to how you want to play. You can deliver that quite quick. And the players who've not been in could have maybe been given some of that situation, what we believe in. You can send them in a day, you can read about it, you can have little small clips. You know, they don't have to be physically on the grass to go and take that away. You can send them at home at night when you're away on a travel, when on trips. And then it's just finding that right solution about beating the next opponent in line. It's occasionally you can forecast to go a little bit further on, you know, like 2 or 3 games time, but generally, you know, you're looking ahead for the next one.
We are indeed. Listen, I mean, this is the start of something very special, hopefully, this season. Thank you for joining us for the first match day live in the UK, shall we say, because we started it, we never stopped. We had the Asia tour as well. And Brownie, thank you very much. Absolute pleasure as well. A massive thank you to Steph Houghton as well, Manchester City legend, and Natalie Pike as well for that incredible work they've done. But from the Principality, we're checking out, but we're not leaving you straight away. We're going to let you hear from our manager, Enzo Maresca, who spoke exclusively live to us. See you soon.
Hi Enzo, not the start you wanted obviously, but what are your thoughts on the performance in general?
Yeah, absolutely, not the start we want. I think the goal we conceded after 25 seconds, 30 seconds affect the game. But even with that, after the goal, we react in the right way. We create 3-4 chances to score and to draw the game. And then unfortunately we concede the second one and become all more complicated.
It's good to get some minutes in the legs of the players coming back from the World Cup. How do you think they took it today?
Yeah, we know that we are, you know, the team with more players involved in the World Cup. Some of them, they started just 2 or 3 days ago. It was important for them to get minutes and be ready for the Premier League.
And Elliot Anderson, of course, making his debut today. And in glimpses, obviously he's coming back to full fitness, but he showed exactly why we want him at this club.
Exactly. It was good. Again, it was not complicated for no one of them after the second goal we conceded. But the reaction was good and Elliot was good.
So we're obviously a week to go now until the start of the season. What the next few days look like for you?
Then now analyze the game, you know, the mistake we have done, try to improve that, and then from Tuesday focus on Bournemouth game.
And obviously, like you say, you know, you've sort of had a few days with some of these players, so it'd be good to have that a full week running into that Bournemouth game.
Absolutely, yeah. Now, you know, now start the normal plan, the normal week, and then in 2 weeks we start to go every 3 days. So it's just about that.
And exciting to be at the Etihad for the first game as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Looking forward for that, as you said, and hopefully we can win the game.
Great stuff. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Antonio. Cheers.
Always said, don't think that we are unstoppable. You are perfect and you don't know why. In one blink.
Horrible goal to concede.
You are in the desert. I'm tired. So tired.
You start to really think that what is going on, we're so good, but then we just can't get out.
To be simple, this machine is built to win. doesn't work if we don't win.
And you know it's going to happen that, huh? You know it's going to happen. You will have another manager.
We have the responsibility to maintain that standard.
This era, if this is it coming to an end, it's coming to an end.
In your life, whatever you're going to do it with passion. I don't want it with players. I will play with passion.
Will there be a moment where you'll say, I don't want that pressure, or I want to change my life?
No, absolutely. I will not do forever.
We have to do it. We have to write that. Take the pride. I want to win the game.
Nothing is eternal. If it was, I would be here. My Manchester City.